everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 6 different refresh techniques that you can use on your wavy or curly hair. So these are the different refresh techniques that I personally use on my hair, depending on what my hair needs, what day it is, how my hair feels. Refreshing is something that can be quite tricky to get your head around at the beginning. So I'm hoping that by sharing a variety of different refresh techniques, you'll be able to play around with a few different ones and figure out what works best for your hair. So this is my day 2 hair, straight out of the overnight pineapple bun. I have let it settle a bit, which I really do recommend. When you take your hair out of its overnight protection, however you choose to protect it, do give it a shake at the roots and allow it to settle, because you might find that it actually doesn't need as much of a refresh as you think it does. So yesterday I washed my hair and I used, I would say, light to medium hold products, and then I went outside in the elements, and so my hair hasn't held up as well as it normally would into day 2 if I'd used a strong hold gel, for example. For my hair in particular, it's wavy curly. I have a mix of loose curls and waves across my hair. This means that my hair has a tendency to stretch out between wash days, and also it can go a little bit straggly. So for me, a refresh really helps to revive my curls, make them look their best, and also helps my curls last a little bit longer between wash days. I also think it's really important to be able to just live with your hair as the days go by. Your hair isn't going to look as amazing as it does on wash day on a day 4, for example. Your curls will evolve throughout the week, and I do think that it's important to recognize that and also embrace that. If you don't want to refresh your hair every day, you don't have to. I don't personally refresh it every day. A lot of the time I'll refresh on a day 2 and then I'll put it in a pineapple bun, or I'll wear another hairstyle, or I'll just live with my curls as they evolve. So the first refresh technique is the steam refresh. There's actually 2 different ways that you can refresh your hair with steam. The first is in the shower, and the second is with a steamer. As the days go by, our curls can dry out a bit, but steam helps revive our curls, hydrates our curls, and helps them bounce back. A steam refresh is really good for people with fine hair, because with fine hair you don't want to be adding loads and loads of extra product onto your hair on a refresh day, because it can get very easily weighed down. Most days at the end of my shower, I will take my hair out of its pineapple bun, flip my head forward and give it a shake about in the steam, and this really helps, I find, revive my curls. And often this is actually the only refresh that I do on my curls. I don't find that I need anything else, especially if I've used the right products and the right amount of product on wash day. Here's a picture of my hair before a steam refresh, and here's a picture of my hair after a steam refresh. I don't know, let me know if you can see the difference, but I personally feel like there is a difference. It definitely helps my curls bounce back. So when it comes to refreshing with a steamer, I do like using the steamer because I find you can kind of target areas a bit better. You have a bit more control as to where the steam is going. It's less easy to kind of overdo it and get your hair wet. You don't really want to get your hair wet when you're steam refreshing. You can either use a facial steamer, you can get specific hair steamers, I think, and you can also get clove steamers, but they are much hotter than facial steamers. So I think a good starting point is a facial steamer. Okay, here we go. You can definitely see my curls coming back to life here now, especially the underneath ones. So this is my hair after the steam refresh, and I really do think it has revived my curls. I feel like I've definitely got better definition in some of my curls now, like this one here, for example, has really bounced back. It feels much softer. This is a really good one to help rehydrate your curls between wash days. You can obviously add product as well after doing the steam refresh if you find that your hair needs a little bit more hold. The only thing that I do personally sometimes find with a steam refresh, especially when I do it with the steamer, is that my curls can go a little bit limp, and I think that is just because it's making them softer and more hydrated. So yeah, if your hair's like really naturally soft like mine, then a steam refresh paired with like a strong hold gel or something like that may work better for you. So a dry refresh is really good if you're short on time, but also if you find that you get a lot of frizz when you re-wet your hair. The most common products to use are a curl cream or a mousse or a foam. I'm going to show you how I do it with a curl cream today. With a curl cream, I would just take a very small amount of product and just mix until you see the product in your hands. You really don't want to be adding loads of product to your hair on a refresh day because you already have product in your hair, and if you add too much, it's just going to add build up, weigh your curls down, make your curls feel a little bit icky. For a dry refresh, I would just take single curls. This is also a curl by curl refresh, and you've got the curl there, and you would just bring the product over the hair and just twist it in. See how well that has just bounced back. That was no water needed. I actually learned this one, I think, from Marisa's Curls, who used to do this all the time, just a quick dry refresh with some curl cream. And yeah, you can obviously take bigger sections if you like, but that's just really helping them come back to life. For me, if I'm doing a dry refresh, it's usually just because I want my curls to become a little bit more clumpy. Now obviously I've done some curl by curl refreshes there, but you can also literally, with the curl cream in your hand, just glaze it over. If you see my hands right now, it looks like they have no product on them, but I'm gonna show you a little hack because I can feel my hands are still a little bit tacky. So I'm just going to take the tiniest bit of water on my hands and mix my hands together, and you can see how that has just come right back. And I'm just doing the same on this side. So if your hair is really naturally soft like mine, then refreshing with a curl cream may not be the one for you. You probably do need like a gel or something that's gonna add a bit more hold to your hair. Curl creams don't add hold, they add softness, moisture, frizz control. So refreshing with a cream may not be for you. You can see that some of my definition has started to come back. My hair's clumpier in places. Even these wavier side bits here have started to clump up a bit more. So my curls will probably need a little bit more of a refresh on this side here on my wavier pieces, but that is essentially what a dry refresh is. A spot refresh is great if, again, you are short on time, or if there are certain problem areas on your hair, like some areas get a bit more stretched out than others, some areas get a bit more frizzy and floofy as the days go by, so you can really target those specific areas. So for me, I would do a spot refresh on this section of my hair because this section is most exposed to the elements, so it is gonna get the most stretched out and the most frizzy. But also for me, this is my wavier section, so it does stretch out more as the days go by. For a spot refresh, you can obviously do it dry as I showed you in the previous method, but I'm going to wet my hair, but I'm only going to wet the section of my hair that I want to refresh. So I'm going to take a small section, say this part here, and I'm just going to re-wet it. And first I'm going to glaze my hands over it. This is going to smooth the frizz. And I'm also just kind of detangling it with my fingers as I go. So you basically want it to be wet enough to be able to smooth the frizz down in your hair and to be able to reactivate the product and really get those curls back. I'm just going to twist it so I know which section it is, even though I can see it, but it will just keep it together a bit better. And then I'm going to go in with a light gel. So this is a lightweight gel, and I say it's like a low to medium hold. I really love this one for refreshing because it is so lightweight, it doesn't weigh my curls down, and also this section of my hair that's wavier loves protein. So this is a protein gel, and this section just really bounces up when I use this gel. So I'm going to take a small amount of the gel and I'm just going to add a little bit of water to that, very small amount, just to mix it together in my hands and make it easier to distribute. And then I'll take this section and I'm going to rake it through. So now that I've added the product, it's time to redefine this section. So there's a couple of ways that you can do that. So I'm going to split it into a few different sections. So the first section, I'm going to twist it. So this is finger coiling, where you just kind of twist it around your finger. And then you can give it a little scrunch up to encourage the curl. And the second way is finger rolling. So you want to smooth the hair down, bring your fingers to the end of the curl, and then wrap it around your fingers and roll it up to the top and unravel it. And that's a really good way. Look at that curl. I mean, come on. And the third way is to brush style. So I'm just gonna take this small section and I'm gonna brush it with tension. Give it a little shake, a little finger coil, and scrunch up. And then obviously you can do it on like the drier pieces of your hair as well. So I'm just going to show you how I do that. Mix the gel in my hands and just take curl by curl. Ow. And then I'm just going to diffuse my hair, which will be much quicker because I'm only diffusing one section of my hair, and then I'll be back and show you the results. I mean, wow. Just look at the difference. These pieces are still a little bit damp. I haven't finished completely diffusing them or scrunched out the crunch, but that is such a difference already just on these pieces. Bear in mind that these are my wavier pieces anyway, so this is about as defined as they get. But yeah, what a difference. Boing. Next up is an ends only refresh. For me, this is a really good one because my hair's quite long and sometimes between wash days, my ends can get a little bit straggly. They stop clumping up, they get a bit stringy and dry. I'll also do this one sometimes at the end of wash day if I find that my ends have dried a little bit wonky or stringy. So for an ends only refresh, I'll either use a cream or a gel. It will depend on how my hair feels as to which route I go down. If my ends were feeling very dry, stringy, got really stretched out and just not clumping, I would use a curl cream. And if my hair felt very soft, for example, and wasn't clumping and had a little bit of frizz, then I would usually use a strong hold gel. And that's because when my hair is very soft, it typically needs a bit more hold, and when it's feeling very dry, it's either got product buildup on it or it needs a bit more moisture. So I'm going to do a cream refresh on the ends of this side of my hair, and I'm going to do a gel refresh on the ends at this side of my hair. This is very similar to the spot refresh and the dry refresh. I'm just taking a small amount of cream and I'm going to just mix that product with some water in my hands just to emulsify it, as I have done throughout this video. And then I'm just going to go over the ends of my hair and just glaze it over my hair and work it in. And then you can see which bits are a little bit stringy, so then you might want to take sections and just kind of give them a little finger coil. So I've just done the ends there and you can see that the clumps are definitely coming back, and then I would diffuse them dry, but I'm just going to show you the gel refresh on the other side. So for the gel refresh, I would normally wet my ends first, especially if I was using a thicker gel like the one that I am using. So I'm just gonna wet my ends. Noisy bottle. Just smooth that water in, and then I'm just gonna take a little bit of the gel and then mixing it with water, and then I'm just glazing the product over. And scrunching it in. If you find that your hair is still a bit stringy, then add a bit more water. You can also brush style the section just to help the clumps come back a bit easier and smooth the frizz. You will have to detangle it first though. So that little bit of tension is just helping get the clumps back. So now I'm going to diffuse my ends dry. I'm just going to put it all to one side so I can fit them all in the dryer at once. And here are the ends once they are dry. Definitely more clumpy. I've got definitely more hold this side, definitely more clumps this side. Feeling nice and moisturized. Love that one. Next up is a gel refresh. It's definitely my most used refresh type because I find that it just gives me the best results. It really helps my curls bounce back. It makes my definition come back, and it adds so much more hold to my curls on a day 2 and beyond. Depending on how you do this refresh and how wet you make your hair, it can take more or less time. I'm going to show you the one I've been doing most recently where I don't wet my hair, because this takes literally 5 to 7 minutes. It really doesn't take a long time for me because I'm not fully re-wetting my hair. But if you find that your hair responds better to re-wetting it or dampening it, then I'll link my video up here where I did that previously. I actually did this refresh recently when I was away for a few days, and I did this refresh every single day, and it made my curls last so well. I think I got about 4 or 5 decent days out of a wash day, which is pretty much unheard of for me because it's usually up in a bun by day 3. I used the Shine Gel, which is what I'm going to use now. I'm just going to take the product in my hand, about a pea size amount. I'm going to mix this with water. You can do this with water from the sink, and I'm mixing the water in my hand until it turns into a jelly-like consistency. This is going to break the gel down. It's not going to make it as sticky. And then literally all I'm going to do is glaze the product over my hair. And I'm doing sort of like a praying hands motion, but not with a lot of tension, just a gentle sort of glazing motion. I'm putting my hands either side, so I'm getting product on either side of my hair. I don't want to put sticky hands on my hair because that's just gonna stick to my hair and make frizz. So I'm making sure my hands are always a little bit wet whenever I touch my hair. So I am using water, but I'm not completely saturating my hair with water. It is getting wet, so it is reactivating the product in my hair, and it is helping my curls come back. But because I'm not fully saturating my hair, this is going to be a really quick refresh. Genuinely, I did this before I went to the airport in the morning the other day. I had 5 minutes before I had to leave the house. I did this and dried my hair in, I think, 6 minutes, and I was very impressed with myself and with my hair. It worked so well. And then I'm just glazing it over my hair. And this is really helping to smooth frizz, reactivate the product that's already in my hair, and really help get my definition back. So I'm just gonna flip my head to the side. Just gonna wet my hands again. I've still got a bit of product in my hands, so I'm just glazing over, smoothing water over my hair essentially. And then I'm going to give it a little scrunch. A very gentle scrunch, because you don't want to cause too much frizz. You probably will get a bit of frizz with this refresh, but the more gentle you are, the less frizz you should get, because I'm really like smoothing it down. And also because I'm using a Stronghold gel, that's helping to lock the frizz in. Whoa, these curls are really coming back. I just love this refresh. And then I'm gonna diffuse, and it really shouldn't take long to diffuse because my hair is barely damp. And a quick tip to help your hair dry faster is, as you feel your hair starting to form the cast, scrunch your hair very gently to release the cast. Even if it's a little bit damp, it will really help speed up the drying time. And these are my results after diffusing. I absolutely love a gel refresh. It's so simple but so effective. I've got some really good definition back in. Even my wavier pieces have really bounced up there. I mean, that probably needs to be separated because that is a mega clump, but really, really happy. I've got my bounce back, I've got definition back all over, a little bit of frizz, but that is to be expected. My hair feels stronger and like it has more hold in it, it's got a bit more grit in it. It doesn't feel like it's gonna fall out in the next couple of hours like it can when it feels a little bit like candy floss and very soft. So yeah, really happy, definitely give this one a go. I wanted to touch upon curl by curl refreshing. I've kind of covered it in spot refreshing and dry refreshing, but I wanted to give it its own special mention because it is a really good refresh if you don't want to re-wet your hair. Again, if you want to save time, it means that you don't have to completely re-wet or refresh your entire head. You just refresh the curls that need refreshing. I think a lot of the time we do end up just completely re-wetting our whole hair and completely refreshing our whole head. That can sometimes ruin our hair, and sometimes we just waste time refreshing when we don't need to refresh our entire head. So Curl by Curl Refresh is a really good one for that. You just literally have a look at what curls you think need a little bit more hold on them, a little bit more definition. Maybe you've got a couple of pieces that are a little bit frizzy. Then you take a single curl like so. Depending on your hair type, you can really use whatever product you want. You can use a cream or a gel, or you could use a foam. I'm going to use this gel again, the Curlsmith Aqua Gel. Just a very small amount because it's only a very tiny bit of hair. And I'm just going to take each curl, just take a little bit of product on it, and just literally glaze it over. Just giving each one a little bit of care. And this is really going to help smooth frizz, get your definition back. It's going to save you time because you don't have to re-wet your whole head. So you see here, it's a little bit frizzy, could do with a little bit of extra hold and definition. So I'm just going to take the piece of hair and just glaze the product over. Give it a little finger coil. Look at that, how that's just come back. Amazing. And then you can either diffuse your hair or let it air dry. But yeah, that is the basis of the Curl by Curl Refresh. So those were 6 different refresh techniques to try on your own curls. Let me know which one is your personal favourite to refresh your curls with, and let me know if there are any new ones in there that you haven't thought of yet. As always, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.